Whether you are spending Valentine's Day with your significant other or you're spending it alone, I hope to share some really great, delicious Valentine's Day treats. I hope you guys enjoy. I'm going to be starting with some breakfast items. I'm going to be making some hash browns. I thought we could make some cutesy little heart-shaped hash browns. So I'm gonna grab my potatoes. I'm using just regular russet potatoes. I have already washed my potatoes really good. I scrub them really good because potatoes are really dirty, and you actually, even if you're peeling it, you want to scrub the outsides of them really good because the dirt and bacterias can get inside of the potato. My potatoes, I'm using just regular russet potatoes, I believe, or golden potatoes. Alright, I'm gonna pull out your mandolin carefully. Is this the thin slice? That's a thick slice. That's a thick slice, boy. What I'm going to do is not read directions because I'm bad at doing that. And I like to figure things out myself unsafely. Alright, I have the thin slice attachment on there, so now I'm going to peel my potatoes and grate them. Found the peeler. Yay. This is a workout, guys. Oh my gosh. Alright, so we have our shredded hash browns here, or shredded potatoes here, and we're gonna add some cold water into here, and you're gonna just kind of mix it around with your hands. This is to help break up the starch, and then we're gonna be draining this and drying it off so that it fries really good. So now you're gonna transfer these to a cloth or something like that, placed over a bowl. So you're gonna basically bunch it up into a ball. In my case, I'm using paper towels. And then I'm also feeling fancy. I just bought this new fresh food chopper I want to try out. So I'm going to put some onions in here. The recipe I'm following calls for shallots, but I'm just going to put some onions in there. It will still taste good. I'm going to try this small onion here first. Ooh. Okay, there we go. There we go. She just needed a minute. Wow, my life is so much easier now. I could probably even use this to chop up like herbs and stuff too. Oh, this will be so good for like making salsa. I'm going to add our potato mixture into a clean bowl. And we've dried it, we've squeezed all of the water out about as much as humanly possible, so I think it's gonna be okay. For our mixture, we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of flour and 1 teaspoon of salt, and then the salt is gonna draw out the rest of the water in our potatoes and help it to gather up and stick together. Alright, so I've split mine up into 6 different hash browns, and then I'm heating a pan. I used a spatula to get them into my pan, and I have them sizzling. It takes about 3 minutes on each side, maybe a little more depending on your preference. Alright, this is our finished hash brown. It doesn't look pretty, but you could always just cut the edges off and make it out of a heart, or make it into a heart. Another method would be shaping it while it is in the pan. Alright guys. Cheers. I love potatoes. I am once again really hungry, and it is morning time, so we're going to be making another breakfast item. I'm cheating and making my strawberry syrup with frozen strawberries. So we are actually making some really good, or I hope they're really good, custardy French toast. It's supposed to be restaurant style. You'll need your choice of bread. Now brioche is like the best choice, or some kind of thicker bread, something you can cut into thick slices. I'm using sourdough. That was a lovely gift. So you first need to make like a cinnamon sugar mixture, which, as I said, I used a different sugar. I think this is a coconut sugar or some different form of sugar. It's use granulated, whatever your choice is, and then some cinnamon. So you put like a cup of sugar and a tablespoon of cinnamon. I also put some cloves in here. You could do some nutmeg. If you wanted like a little bit of salt, you could put some like sea salt in there, and that would probably be really good. And I don't have one of those fancy dancy tools to take the yolks out of my eggs, so I have an empty water bottle. This is a trick that I learned a long time ago. You're just gonna squeeze your bottle to get that pressure built up in there, and you're gonna gently See, I'm gently just letting it glide up in there, and you'll kind of have to let the whites break off. And then you just squeeze that in there and you have your egg yolk. Half and half is a lighter version of heavy cream, essentially, or less fat or something like that. I don't exactly know. So I saw that you can do 1/4 a cup of like your heavy cream, and then you fill it up to the 1 cup mark. So 3/4 cup of milk. I'm using almond milk. We'll see how it works. And I need 2 cups of that, so I did that twice, and I'm adding that into my mixture. So we're actually also supposed to add our cinnamon sugar mixture to this. So we're gonna do that, and I'm gonna set aside some for dusting purposes. You can choose whatever vegetable oil to cook with. I'm choosing coconut oil, and we're gonna heat our pan and melt this coconut oil. Slices of sourdough cut to about 1 inch or 1.5 inch width, and we are going to dip it in our custard for about 20 to 30 seconds, flipping it maybe like 3 to 4 times. So I'd say let these sit for about 30 to 45 seconds before you check it. You're just waiting for them to be like a caramelized brown. Also, a good tip if you have a big pan like mine is to try and keep it near the heat source or centered by the heat source so that it's cooking evenly. Sometimes I can neglect that step or forget to do it. On my simple syrup over here, or my strawberry syrup for on top. So I have 1/2 cup of sugar in here and 1/2 cup of water, and I'm just going to be bringing this to a boil. I'm kind of mixing it around right now to get all of the sugar around in there, and you will want to be stirring this frequently as well. So I've turned our strawberries off after about like 8 minutes. They're into a nice syrup for us. So now you have some delicious sourdough custard French toast with hopefully a successful strawberry syrup that you didn't spill all over yourself and the floor. So next on the menu is a, I don't know, it's a dessert treat. We are going to try to make this healthier. We're going to try and make it dairy-free. This next dish is called miel feuille. Napoleon pastry dish with delicious layers of the pastry, and then a delicious cream that we'll make, and then some fruits. So let's make it. It says 180 degrees Celsius. Put it to like 356, I think, is the direct translation. I don't know if I can really do that, so we're just gonna do 355. This gives me an excuse to use my new mixer too. Here she comes in all of her glory. Beautiful. It's a daily occurrence, don't worry, I'm used to it at this point. Wait, ready? Okie dokie, artichoke. So we're just gonna wing this, and I'm going to make some dairy-free whipping cream because this is definitely, they're in a different country. Okay, this is definitely a recipe from probably France. I don't know. That's what I'm gonna assume. So we need to double cream is whipped cream here. I don't have freaking thickener. I know I got coconut milk. Okay, I'm gonna put this in the freezer for a little bit. Since we're gonna be making a dairy-free version of the whipped cream slash double cream for the recipe that I'm following, coconut milk here in my can, and then we are going to be using powdered sugar. Lots of stuff to clean up, guys. We're gonna flour a surface here. Yeah, you could make your own, but I'm super glad I'm not right now because I'm just so hungry. The butter knife. 4, 5, 6. Beautiful. And then you'll cut that in half. So 6. Yeah. unsweetened first pressing coconut milk. So that's what it looks like. Full fat, very cold bowl. And I'm gonna just plop this. Only supposed to scoop the solid coconut from the top. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna let those totally cool before we touch them. About a teaspoon of vanilla. I think we should speed her up a little bit, huh? It didn't work. I don't know what happened, but I put it in the fridge to see if it will solidify the coconut milk because it was really liquidy. So this is what happens when you forget to siphon your sugar. The nice thing about this camera is I have 2 batteries for it. Alright, so let's measure this out. Finishing touches for the Napoleons will be to add a layer of your cream. Hopefully it turned out better than mine did. That's my fault. Read the directions thoroughly before you do anything. But you'll do that, and then you'll add another layer of the pastry, flatten it down, and then I did regular whipped cream since my cream is not sturdy enough to hold these raspberries on top. But then you have your Napoleons. We are gonna be making a little side dish, snack. You could have this for lunch throughout the day maybe. Stuffed mushrooms. I really like mushrooms. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. So this might not be your kind of recipe, but yeah. We are making like sauteed steak outhouse mushrooms. You want to clean all of your mushrooms off and you want to just lightly the tops off. They are very fragile, so you don't really want to soak them. Quick, I'm going to cut the bottoms of the stems off, and then we're going to throw it in the pot with, or the pan with, a 1/4 cup of water. So we are going to saute these for, I'm not sure how long. The pan is like about dry. Some olive oil to this mixture now. And get our mushrooms nice and brown. So now I'm going to get some of my fresh thyme. I'm going to rinse 2 sprigs of it about. Real pepper is the best. And you should use like sea salt. I don't have sea salt. Use shallot. I'm using onion, garlic, thyme, salt, and pepper. I've pushed my mushrooms to like the outer side, and I'm going to add some butter to the middle of the pan. Saute it for about a minute, and then we'll add our Worcestershire sauce. Okay, my butter is melted, so I'm going to go ahead and add my onion mixture to the middle here. And my brother should be here any minute now with the chicken broth, hopefully, because it's almost that time. Okay, these are all ready, so I'm going to add my Worcestershire sauce. And you add about 2 tablespoons of this. To update you guys on the mushrooms, they are delicious. We're back for our meatballs, which this should be a really easy, quick dinner, lunch, side, whatever you want it to be. I didn't have ground chicken, so I just scissored the heck out of this chicken and beat it with a hammer, so I think that it's ground now. You already preheated your oven to 450, so we're gonna let that sit and warm up. It takes my oven like 10 million years to warm up, so I always preheat that first. And I lined my pan and oiled it just a little bit. And we need, how much breadcrumbs? So you need 1/2 cup of breadcrumbs, and you can use whatever milk you want. I'm using almond milk. Okay, so you're gonna pour 1/2 cup of your breadcrumbs and 1/2 cup of your milk into a bowl, and we're gonna let that sit for 5 minutes to become a thick mixture for mixing in with our meatballs. You wanna stir that before you let it sit, and then while you're waiting for it to sit, you can work on chopping up your shallot. I'm using onion, and then I also have my garlic all chopped up, so I don't need to do that, but this would be a good time to get that all prepped. My mixture is looking like it's much more solid. A 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan and a tablespoon of lemon juice. So for the spices, you're gonna add thyme, basil, parsley, oregano, dill. I'll also add some salt and some red crushed pepper as well. Add this will be 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and then you'll just mix it with your hands. You could use an ice cream scoop, but I'm just wetting my hands and rolling them up in a ball, cooking mama style. Transfer those to your baking sheet, ready to put in the oven for about 15 to 18 minutes. You could also fry these in a pan or whatever. So I went for a homemade Tataziki sauce with some feta in it. I kind of mixed up the recipe. The recipe I was following is a little confusing with the feta whipped and then the Tataziki note. So I'm kind of making my own. Feta, I did olive oil. I don't even know what I put in here, guys. Link the recipe and you guys can follow it along. Because I basically followed it, I just used the herbs that I have. Whether you're spending Valentine's Day alone or with someone else, I hope you can find some really good recipes to try out and at least treat yourself with some food. And don't forget that you are loved. I'll catch you guys in the next video and peace